All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow. Remember, no one is worthless, no story is worthless. Today, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about that self-care and wellness, especially for the ladies as well. Definitely for the ladies, Joining me all the way from Minnesota, please put your hands together for Miss Latrina Caldwell.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you for joining us tonight on the platform. Now, the couple of words I did use was self-care, but let me just give you, your props as well. Author, community leader, speaker, coach, she does it all, ladies and gentlemen now. Okay, all right, person of many hats. Now, you are part of a book anthology called I Choose Me. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, I am the visionary author behind the project. I have a few collaborations, but this one was very dear to me because there's been many times in my life where I had to make it was a conscious choice, right? Because a lot of times we don't choose ourselves first. We choose other people. Mm-hmm. So I had a conscious choice to choose myself. And at this particular point in my life, it was in relationship. So I realized in relationship, you have to choose yourself. And that's relationships with money, with your career, with your children, with your household, with your significant other. I realized in relationship, personal companionship relationship for me, I wanted to choose me more. So I started to write about dating myself with purpose. I realized that a lot of people will date for marriage, will date for specific things, but don't date themselves to be the best version of themselves. So that prompted me to create this book, the vision for this book, to choose me. And we tap on multiple areas, not just relationship, but in the workplace, in my household, with my children, with my career, with myself. I need to be top priority. And then that prompted me to write the book. And if I think that way, there's a few other people out here that think that way. And my ultimate goal is to make impact in my communities. So that everything that I do is all about the impact. I think about the coins later. That'll come. My goal is the impact. So I knew that this book would impact people to choose themselves and empower them. And I was authentic in my chapter. I really wrote about dating myself. I wrote about stop dating. And I'm sorry, I just have to say it. Stop dating that man for something. Date yourself. I want to be the best Latrina I can be. I done been through everything up under the sun. So it's time for me to choose me. It should be a natural mindset. We shouldn't have to think about it and put a second. So I just wanted to highlight that to the world and share the story.
Look, let me just say, first of all, yes to everything you just said, and it's just not from, a woman's perspective, but from the male perspective as well. There are men out here who date women for status or what have you, and they're not the best version of themselves. And, it plays out in the wash, as time goes on. And I think, pretty much to your point, that's why we hear a lot on social media, especially on social media, about relationships being, pretty much what they are. And I feel as if people do need to really, truly date themselves to get the best out of them, as far as purpose. Like, what is it that I really want? What is it that's really going to bring the best out of me? At the end of the day, yeah, this person is cool, this person's nice, and, all these other, things or what have you. But at the end of the day, what's going to make me happy? What about this person really makes me happy? Does this really make me happy? Am I really, getting as much fulfillment out of life that I should be at this point? So to your point, I always feel as if, you should be building up a person just as much as they should be, building you up as well. Know, so it has to work both ways. But as you said, you have to.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Okay.
And to go the back way in, and I've done it. Look, I always talk about me first. I point the finger to me first. I'm gonna be transparent and authentic because that's just who I am. And look, I did it. I went the back way in, even in marriage, without me being a whole person or being mentally where I needed to be and being at the point of choosing me, because I probably wouldn't even enter this marriage. I'm just gonna be authentic right now. Because when you are the best version of yourself, you're going to look for different things. You're going to expect different things. It's a whole different type of attention, conversation. It's a whole different level of life. And if people do that more, we'll have successful relationships in companionship, careers, money, etc. So I just was like, look, choose yourself, Latrina, and just be that example to show others to choose themselves.
All right. So now, look, let's just move into some tips now. Some tips on how we can, choose self-love and self-care for wellness as well as relationships.
Yes. Well, I have the name that I was named in the business realm and the coaching realm as the self-care pusher.
Mm-hmm.
That simply means that I live a self-care lifestyle. See, it's a lifestyle for me because I made the conscious choice, and it's a part of my mindset because I understand that I'm in control of my mindset and what I allow to enter and dismiss. So I embedded that in me, that going forward for the rest of Latrina's life, she's going to live a self-care lifestyle. So every single day, I take time for me in between clients. That's, as a serial entrepreneur, you get to lay your foundation as you want and structure the way you want. So I have the breaks and that time throughout every day for myself. So I'm a 10-time published author, including books, ebooks, journals, and I write about self-care. So just like any other person, I thought it was, let me get my hair done and being natural, you got to keep it done with no chemical, right? So keep going and, get whatever, eyelashes, massage, you go out to dinner. That's maintenance. Just like you maintenance your car, you have to maintenance yourself. Self-care is the mindset. Self-care is taking care of yourself every day. Self-care is getting up as my mental health. Okay, how am I feeling? Am I balanced? Do I need something extra today? Because I'm going to go seek what I need because I'm trying to be the best version of myself. So that's me being that self-care pusher. It's a mindset. It's a lifestyle. So I've actually adopted and created this rule. It's my rule, and I'm in the process of trademarking it, but it's the 5x5 rule. 5 minutes, 5 times a day, you will implement self-care into your daily lifestyle. 5 minutes. Look, think about it. We got 24 hours in a day. You can't take 25 minutes out of 24 hours for yourself, for you. And this is about you, your life, your foundation, your future. No, you take 5 minutes, 5 times a day. You will implement self-care into your daily lifestyle or routines. Just like anything you do consistently for a period of time has the ability to become a habit. Do it for you. Choose you.
Okay. All right, y'all. Hey, look, y'all heard the woman now. She over here dropping this gospel for y'all. Y'all better listen. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, resilient, okay, that's all, man. That's pretty much what I'm hearing all through this here, and using that term. Let's talk about using resilience to make boss moves. Yes.
To be honest with you, I'm a city commissioner. Like, I do a lot of things, but I'm humble, so it's not about that. I know I'm making impact. I've been in the community with my nonprofit for almost 14 years doing work in the background. Most folk don't know. I put my own money behind it. I'm just now coming to the forefront because God said you've been in the back too long. It's time for you to be in the front. First of all, I created you for that. You know what I'm saying? I chose you. I know he chose me because I'm a 21 survivor of domestic violence. I have been raped. I have been touched. And guess what? It still has no power over me because I know who I am and whose I am. I dropped out of school in Chicago at Simeon in 9th grade, okay? I went back to 27 and got my GED and went to college because I knew that there was more in me. I realized once he told me very loud and clearly, I was about 23, like, I chose you. I chose you. So now I'm just living that example, and I be very humble in my work, but it is what it is. I do wear a lot of hats. I am a serial entrepreneur, but I'm just a regular chick. Like, I'm cool, laid back, and just humble in my spirit. But this right here, even coming on these platforms and telling people who I am, it fills my soul because they need to understand about self-care and mental health and how they go hand in hand and being resilient. Resilience is a mindset too for me, right? It's a part of my Chicago DNA, right? Outside and part of that, growing up even in that era, I had to be resilient because I wanted to bounce back because I wanted more. Or more. Even now at 40, being a model and doing all the things I wanted to do when I was younger, I'm still being resilient. I'm still had that mindset to get up and push. We're gonna all have rainy days, but it's all about the mindset, right? Most things are emotions and they're gonna go away. When they're gone, you still got to deal. So let me just keep going and keep working, even in the midst of the emotions, right? Because I'm resilient and it's a mindset and a lifestyle for me. Self-care.
All right, look here. Turn that growth mindset into profit. All right, y'all, instead of sitting around mulling about it, figure out how you can pivot and turn, everything that you've been through into some form of profit and not making it all about the money or whatever because it has to have a purpose behind it. But why not? Come on now. Right. All right. Okay, come on now. We talking to y'all today. We talking. I mean, I don't know if y'all listening, but we talking to y'all, okay? Now, you just mentioned, basically some of your background. Well, let's talk about surviving hurt and trauma from your own, personal, story. And what advice would you give, someone who has gone through your, trying time as well?
It would be the spiritual background, having a foundation and a spiritual background is everything for me. If I didn't know God or have a relationship with Him, I would have been dead. In the natural and the spirit, and I would have been gone if I didn't have that. So the best gift I could give my two girls was introducing them to God. And everybody needs that. So if you don't have a relationship with Him, any spiritual, whatever you believe in, the basic instructions before leaving earth, whatever fills you, right? Your soul, your spirit. I would say tap into that. That's where I found my power when I didn't have the strength. It was there, that faith of a mustard seed. So right there is what I would tell anyone, to tap into that spiritual part of themselves, because that's the foundation part right there. Me, that, standing on that, I feel like I could do anything. So that's what I would say to anyone who was in my previous life, right? Have a foundation, seek help. I wasn't afraid to ask. I learned a long time ago that a closed mouth don't get fed. A long time ago, I will ask for help. I was just at a community meeting an hour before our meeting. I asked for help. My youth programming, because I do youth mentoring programming to do violence prevention for 12, 18-year-old girls and boys. I have a full team. 3 directors. I have my children work for me as employees. I have interns. I've been growing this program for a while and putting financial literacy, sports. I have it all to fill the gap of what's needed. I saw that need as a therapist working with my clients in the pandemic. I can feel this need, right? So it's just that I get so overjoyed. I do, because it's a part of who I am. I just love the impact and to share myself. Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to tell their story.
Well, hey, look here. True, and let me just say your passion. Like, let's just call it what it is. Like, you have a true passion. And I know, you hitting on it, like, at the beginning when you were speaking of the why. Sometimes a lot of people worry about, they start off with the why, but then they focus more on the how, which takes you away from the why because, you're always thinking about, well, how is this going to, get done? Or, like, man, and usually the how is money. How am I going to make some money? How am I going to do this? How am I going to get rich? How am I going to... No, that's not what the purpose is. And I want to talk a little bit about your... I want to talk a little bit about your community work in a second. But one more question I want to ask. Now, I know you were just talking about it, and I know it's been the main point. We were talking about self-care. But let's talk about, like, managing self-care practices for, the people working from home. Because, as you know, there's been a lot of people leaving the office like, hey, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm going to be working from home. Man, I ain't got to deal with half this, that, and the other. But how can we, while, that's great, how can we not make that a trap? Whereas, eventually over time, it becomes a trap working from home. Because you're still working, doing things, this, that, what have you. But how can we manage, self-care practices for that?
I do a lot of trainings too. Like, I really tap in. All the empowerment, local events, even out of state as a speaker, right, too. So I'm speaking all over. My baby is about to go to college, which means that as an empty nester, I'm going to continue to give, travel, and just enjoy. So I tap into those other entities. So people, even at home, like I work at home. Most of my work, even from writing books to, unless I'm going out to an agency to do some contract work, but I work at home and I just do different things. Get out, take a walk, right? It's a park on the next block where I'm as a commissioner, that's kind of my park area anyway, but I go walk. I do different things. That 5x5 rule, meditate, get away from work, even at home, right? Read a book. I love podcast shows. I went to your show on Instagram, right? So I always try to get to know something about the person that's going to interview me or who I'm going to interview, because I do interviews too for a magazine. I interview men. I'm over the men section. I actually have a men collaboration book. If you're interested, I'll send you the flyer for men to tell their stories about leadership and empowerment. Just like the I Choose Me, I'm the vision behind that. I have my Walking in My Purpose. I did for that. And I shared me walking in my purpose. Now I'm like, let me bring my men to the front, right? We always try to silence them by not hearing them. I feel like, we gotta open the door and create the space for the men to say, let me come up there and take my spot. So I'm doing that as well. So if you're interested or know any other men, I would greatly love that, because I want our men voice to be heard too, because we hear the women all day. Y'all hear us. We're going to stay connected. My sister over there, men need to have that space too. So somebody got to be okay with saying that. So I'll be okay with saying that I want to hear the men, right?
So now let's talk about this community work that you do, because you've been hitting on it, but I've checked out your website. You are, man, hats, please, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that's an understatement, but I love it because it's all community based, and as you said, you're doing stuff for women and as well as men, and it's just really about the embetterment, and the empowerment of everyone as well, having that growth mindset. But let's talk about some of this community work that you do, because you're doing good in the hood now. Okay, so come on. Talk to us.
Well, I've been in the community 14 years. I've just been in the background. for a long time with my nonprofit. I did a lot of gifting. So I did a lot of Toys for Tots, 14 years now, being my family. Even in COVID, we still served up to 1,300 kids in 2020 and then 1,400 in 2021. With the team that I've structured and built over the years, I redesigned my entire program when COVID came to a no contact program, and it's actually been more successful, more structured. I hear my dog in the background. He got away. More structured. And it's been very rewarding to do this. I, had to, throughout the years, I make sure people know that this is genuinely, like my heart. My kids are grown, I still just want to give. And this is just my way of giving back to the same communities when my babies were younger that I went to for help. So I'm just, as I've grown myself, I'm giving back. So now I have a new nonprofit. I just received my 501c3 about a month ago. And this one is called Saving Our Communities Foundation. And it's all about that community work. I'm doing my first back to school drive August 27th. I'm looking like, just now I'm thinking about asking for donations like for backpacks and school supplies, because I funded a lot of my programs myself over the years. And honestly, financially, it killed me. My kids, my mortgage, so now, again, as I stated, closed mouth don't get fed. It's a lot of money out here for programming. So now I'm tapping into the community money as I've been doing the community work. So I sit on a commission board in my local city here in Brooklyn Park. And it's really good. I get to be a voice for people of color. I get to be a voice for women, mothers in my community. As a homeowner, I was like, let me be the voice. Who's stepping up to be that voice over here for us? And then I didn't even realize that God had been connecting my dots, because everything is in alignment with everything that I'm doing, even with the commission work. Didn't know the board I was selected for deals with the youth only, that board. And I have youth programming. So it's like in alignment. I'm meeting with council members. I was actually asked to run. I'm not sure if that's something I want to do yet, but and then other than that, I sit on a Tubman shelter here in Minnesota. I worked there for 7 years. I interned through college. Now I sit on the board there to be a voice for the abused women, because I was on that side. I was a victim to victory. So I get to show you that there's life after abuse and that you can take your power back, because I did it. And I know that it's possible, because I know that I could have died easily. So I really work with women, abused women. So that's really dear to my heart as a survivor. And then I sit on another board, Don't Shoot Guns, Shoot Hoops. And it's only, yep. And this is because youth. And then the owner and the CEO sit on my board. So, right, we eat at each other's table. We can eat separate and together. That's how I roll. So, and then my local college, they just asked me like, hey, Latrina, we developing this social work program. We like what you do. I went and lectured my first college class last week. I was like, wow, you just never know what God has in store for you. And then she's like, hey, can you be on the board and help us with the curriculum for the social work program? Yes, this will help me with my curriculum, with my program. So I was honored. So those are the amazing things that I'm doing in the community. I will be doing more. I have so many programs, from domestic violence awareness, financial literacy, to sports, to fitness training. I'm a mobile notary. It's so many entities to my programming and my membership.
And, this is a perfect time to ask this question, because I ask this question from time to time on this show. But we talk about leaving empty, around here. And what that means is when it's all said and done and, your life is over and, it's your legacy and this, that, and the other, what type of legacy will you leave? Will you leave an empty legacy, or will you be full of regrets and, I should have, could have, would have done this and this, that, what have you? So I'm going to present that to you. When we talk about leaving empty, like, what do you want your legacy, not only on your community, but life to be?
Very impactful. Honestly, I know right now there's rooms that my name is being spoken in right now. And I say that because the recent meetings, people are like, I know you from, I know your work. And I'm like, wow. So impact, empowerment. I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. I try not to be funny, but if somebody just happened to Google me, a lot of my work come up, or YouTube, or, and it's very authentic. So the impact, the empowerment, a beautiful spirit. I know I have a natural beauty, right? That's obvious, right? But my soul matches that outer appearance and match. So they would get that. They would get the transparency. I'm very authentic. I don't mind sharing my story. I wrote about it in my first book. I have a copy of it right here. It's called I Am Her, to be healed, empowered, and renewed. And I talked about, I hit some men. I've had men read this book and say, I have a better understanding of a woman's mindset. Wow. And because I kept it real, it's a small book, but the information, I talked about everything from checking yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody else check me. I check myself. I look in the mirror and self-reflect all the time because I want to be great. And I can take criticism because I understand that's the way to greatness. I know that part. So, I'm excited for that part of my legacy. I know that I'm building a platform that's going to be beneficial for a lot of households, and mainly those that look like me. So.
Okay. All right, come on now, girl. Talk that talk now. Talk that talk. Come on. But no, but if people really want to get in contact with you, they're looking, for your services or what have you, but just want to know more about you, know more about you via social media, email, or website, how can they?
It's just my name, LatrinaCaldwell.com. I have my program, my coaching is a school, so it's c2ccoaching.org, right? But if you Google me, it'll come up, Google. On all platforms, Latrina C. I am Latrina C or Latrina C. I'm on all of them. Okay. So I'm easy. Latrina. I'm on TikTok. I love it all. I'm everywhere. Yes, I'm here.
All right, hey, y'all heard her. Google her, okay? She out there. She just not bragging. Hey, look here. She really, man.
I'm being humble.
Man, she being humble. Man, she walked the walk and talked the talk now. Look, y'all better, ask somebody. Okay. Now, this brings me to my last question, but this is the question that my show is known for. Even though we've used some fabulous words, I would love to hear this word. But, Miss Latrina Caldwell, what is the one word that best describes you and why?
Integrity. It's been said to me a lot throughout my life, and I 100% validate that. Integrity. That's important to me. It's just important to me.
Seriously, I love your story. And once again, y'all, look, self-care pusher, y'all, okay? She pushing that self-care. Y'all, look, 5 by 5.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I even have an ebook that's all about self-care, the areas of the areas like spiritual, financial, Yes, it's self-care, just like mental. It's every area. You got to take care of yourself around the board as a whole. You can't hit and miss. You can't take care of yourself in this area and not address this area. It don't balance. You got to take care of yourself all the way around.
Okay, look here. I didn't say it. Take it from the self-care pusher now, okay? All right? So look, on that note, man, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Word with Ty Brownlow. I have been your host, Ty Brownlow. Remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. You can follow me all social media platforms, Word with Ty Brownlow. Or you can just go to my website, tybrownlow.com. Get wonderful conversations like this, as well as many other conversations as well. Miss Latrina Caldwell, We are out. Peace.